Hello and welcome to the Cassie Show. We're live on air. It's Friday, nearly went to say Friday night, Friday early evening. Very early. I'm normally on a Monday night at 8 p.m, but I had a little bit of a virus a couple of weeks ago. So I think the show last week was also on a Friday night. Who knows, maybe it will be my new night to go out, but I am early, as I say, it's probably about 5:45. I generally do a blog for about half an hour, sometimes an hour, on a Monday night at 8 p.m. It may well change to a Friday night because the last couple have been on a Friday. I deal in love and relationships. I like to work on energies, what's about. You know, I work also as an intuitive energy reader, so I pick up through the week about how people are feeling, what's going on in relationships, how people are, you know, how the world is that week. You know, if someone's going through stress to do with certain things or planetary aspects on an astrological level, then the rest of the world in some small ways dealing with the same. So I'm a love and relationship energy reader, but I also deal with life coach, patterning, how we are psychology wise as human beings, what we go through, how we deal with things. You'd be surprised how a lot of individuals, strong people, strong-minded people that are very career orientated and done well in this world, struggle sometimes in relationships, or how they struggle with their own identity, not happy with themselves, how they look, how they present themselves. So we all go through what I would call different times and different situations within our life. So generally the Cassie Show is a little bit about helping people, and I've said before, you can contact me via Skype, and it's Cassie6738, and feel free to add me if you want to leave any questions for the show. Cassandra67@outlook.com is another place that you can connect with me, and also there are a couple of links via Facebook, the OneStopLifeCoach.com site on Facebook, Sapphire site. So many different options if you want to leave me any feedback or any questions for the show that I run around relationships. If you just need a bit of guidance or a bit of help, there are many ways and options that you can contact me. I'll first start the show, as I normally do, with a little bit of astrology, and as I always say, I'm not a true astrologer, but I take a very keen interest in it. I feel, as all human beings, it guides us. As my good old dad would say, a bit of humbug. He's not what I would call a believer in this, but makes me smile at the end of the day because he's a lovely Aquarius. So each person, my perspective is, at least 60% of you do represent your star sign or astrological sign. I'm a Pisces, and I'm very much true to who I am and how I behave around others and what I look for in life. So I do talk us through a little bit, or the first part of the show is about astrology. And what I've just sort of quickly done in the last sort of half an hour or so is just summed up the next day or couple of days, say between now and Wednesday, for you all as to what's coming up, because there's a little bit of a shift in the planets around today, tomorrow, bringing some good luck or good news for others, some of it financial. So I'll read through them, and I'll start with Pisces because I'm biased. That's the 12th sign of the zodiac, the one that's meant to contain a little bit of all signs, which is myself. So, you know, and I'll work down them, and then I'll look at a few relationship issues or things that have been going on that people have struggled with around this particular, you know, last week or so, or since the show of last week. Right, Pisces, Saturday around April the 20th, which is tomorrow, will be a day of surprises, as you have good old Uranus, the planet which of the unexpected, is sort of on the scene around the weekend, now based in what they call the second house. You'll hear me talking about houses. Each house and each pocket represents certain things, and it's in your second house of earned income. And Mercury is also about, so, you know, with Aries also, and the Uranus and Mars, it's a very good time, a very what I call charge time. And it's a little bit at that point, something may occur over the weekend that you're not expecting. Also expect the unexpected. It represents a little bit of a wild card. But what I'll also to say is, I hope for a lot of you out there, it's good news around finances. But for some, you may hear terrible financial news. My fingers will be crossed that it will be good, but I can't promise that, because I do literally believe in the astrological side, and it's you know, it comes up in some small way that you should hear that unexpected news around finances around the weekend. So it's also a good time for brainstorming about your finances. So over the weekend, a lot of Pisces will be looking at new work or wanting to achieve new work. Mercury is about thinking and analysing, and that's with you over the weekend. So it's a little bit like, you know, putting yourself out there. Mercury brings gifts, and literally again that could be the unexpected level that you're going to be getting, but I would certainly say that, you know, get visualizing what you want to make happen and what you see happening for yourself regards financial or material gain over the coming weeks, because it is a time for you to turn your ship, to sort of put yourself sail in different directions with work or new work. Aquarius, right, again, April, I'm working on the vibe of April the 19th, 20th, that's the day tomorrow, and for some up until early next week. Mercury will link with Uranus, your ruler. Sure to be what I call a spectacular day to come, with news and ideas, especially in regards to anything regards any communication projects, writing. For some of you writers out there, make use of the day. It's what I would call a superb time, again, brainstorming, you know, original ideas, coming up with a few surprises, surprising yourself, working alongside a team of people. Again, Uranus is your ruler, so what better than to harness that energy over this coming weekend. And one of the finest days of coming up for you for signing a contract would be around April the 23rd, when Mercury in Aries with sort of will signal Jupiter, which is the giver of gifts and good luck and also profits. Jupiter is now in Gemini, helping you to excel in all your communications. So, you know, my Aquarian friends, anything that you want to do out there, blogging, writing, this is about literally your time to shine. And April the 25th is the major full moon lunar eclipse that will appear in Scorpio and bring major developments involving your career within 5 days before or 5 days after. So look out for that, and it really is what I would class as a real positive time for you guys at the moment. So Aquarians, get brainstorming, get sorting things out. Capricorn, again, Saturday, April the 20th may bring very surprising news around, you know, in matters certain to say, but I feel here that it's positive, not negative. You know, the planets are going to give you a little bit of a complete surprise, and I'm not sure of the kind of surprise that's about to come up, but it may represent a little bit of a setback or a breakthrough. So it's, again, either or, but it's something that I feel quite positive. And the two planets that are meeting up in Aries are about sort of, you know, Capricorns that are December the 31st or January the 1st. You may not like the surprise that surfaces around April the 20th. Because there's a transit around Mercury and Uranus around the sun that literally, for me, sort of pushes something. For example, you know, you may say you want to buy your house, but then don't count your chickens before they've hatched because you may not get the mortgage from the bank, or certain things like that. A far better day for you will be around April the 21st, when I feel here Mercury will receive shimmering beams from Jupiter at that point. So that would be a good time for you. So a little bit of transiting over the weekend is what I'm showing at this point, but I do think that early next week you should feel more settled, and that's for Capricorns. Saggies, well, it's all about love for Saggies more than anything. My feeling is it's about love and relationships. You're not likely to meet your new love at the office, not unless, you know, you meet after, you know, the Mars moves into Taurus, and again that's April the 15th to the 31st. Instead, your very best chance of meeting will be through introduction or friends or parties or social scenes or short trips, you know, maybe even over the internet or dating sites. Again, the 20th, 21st is highlighted for that. So maybe online dating could be your possible source, due to Venus's presence in your house of love and Venus ruling your solar 11th house of community around social media. So maybe once try a dating site when it comes towards meeting people and relationships. And if you're already attached, you'll have fun with the one that you love. and it could be even to do with mundane distractions of normal life, but I certainly feel here that you'll spend a great deal of quality time around this particular weekend that were 19th, 20th, 21st. I certainly think that it comes with a spark. Scorpio, again for you, watch April the 19th and 20th, which is today, tomorrow, when you might be tempted to go overboard in your workouts, as Mercury will conjunct Uranus. Alternatively, you may get news that you didn't expect to hear about a work project, or be aware that you may need to travel unexpectedly this month. So stay flexible is what I would say to you. You're all in some way going to hear some form of news that may well surprise you. I hope for the majority of you that it is good news unexpectedly and not the alternative. Libra, oh, you're very much centered on money or making money around you at the moment, so the theme will be scored even more so around the full moon lunar eclipse around the 25th for you. At this time you may be negotiating about major financial deals and reaching an end point. You know, if you're taking a new position, you may nail down the salary or the benefit package that you want, or if you're selling a house, you may get a buyer or someone to agree the final price. If you are in a divorce, you may be finalising the last bit or divvying up the property. So it is very much for Librans about finances and sorting out the material aspect of life over the next week. Virgo, a surprising development will happen again for you today, tomorrow, around Friday the 19th, when Mercury and Uranus combine forces. With Uranus, I can never quite say what is about to come up. Again, it is for all of you. News may be exciting, very positive, or just the opposite, very jarring. So be careful as you move forward all month. Aries energy is feisty and fast, so you don't want to jump into anything too quickly. Feisty and fast can mean arguments, so again, tread very carefully. What we'll call spectacular for the Virgo is, or hearing about good news around money, could be around April the 23rd. So again, still positive field around you. Just take things slow and take things easy over the weekend. Leo, a very positive week for you, but watch for the events that could rattle on the home front. When, you know, around, there's a certain angle with the planetaries around the 16th, which we just passed. There are a lot of water sloshing around, so again, feelings could run quite deep on this one. Around Venus is opposing Saturn, and this is about emotional security with Leos at the moment. However, the Sun follows Venus into your 10th house on the 19th, which is today, reigniting your usual optimism. I feel that this will be followed by Maud over the next few days. So again, this is about pushing things forward. Those of you who work in media, publishing, sports, arts, travel, animals, anything you like, I just feel as if this is about you hearing some positive but unexpected news for most Leos, that I really feel here that will bring a great opportunity. And I would say there's a lot of inspiration that will be flying about at the moment. So, you know, I do feel here that on the work front, watch this space. It's going to free up a lot of time for you to be doing other things in the very near future. Cancer, April the 19th, Mercury will link in with Uranus, and you may well get a very surprising career news. So thumbs up for the Cancerians. This will happen in your house of fame, but it is hard to know which way it's going to go. Again, that news that everyone's going to be hearing over the weekend, you know, hope it's good, but for some it may well bring disappointment. Pluto will be at what I call a very hard square, so you may feel pressure to conform to someone else's ideas, not your own. Most likely this would be a client or someone who, you know, despite your misgivings, you know, at the end of the day, it's keeping everything simple but practical. Let's think about good things rather than negative things, and work to make it a positive day. Again, for yourselves, another wonderful day. If the weekend doesn't go to plan, the 23rd, which is early next week, Mercury will work beautifully with Jupiter, the giver of good luck and gifts. An ideal day to sign contracts or accept new positions or call that new client. So if it doesn't pan out for you at the weekend, it certainly will do in the next say 5 days or